At number one on my fantasy playlist, April 23rd, 1990. It took a while, but we're there at the summit. Sinead O'Connor, Nothing Compares to You, at number one. And, well, no surprise, it was number one and just about everywhere. I'll go into that in just a little bit. But let's talk about the origins of this record. That's what fascinates me about this record. Didn't find enough information that I wanted on the origins of Nothing Compares to You, but I got enough to share with you. Prince wrote it. Now here's the thing about Prince. Prince was such a prolific songwriter. I mean, he was writing songs right and left. He was creating side projects as outlets for songs, along with, of course, doing his solo thing or doing his thing with the Revolution. One of the side projects was a group called The Family. The Family consisted of two former members of the time, Jelly Bean Johnson, the drummer of the time, and also Jerome Benton, another former member of the time. You might remember Jerome Benton. He was the guy who held up the mirror to Morris Day, where Morris Day was combing his hair. Remember that? That was pretty cool. It was sort of like a comic foil to Morris Day. Morris Day was cool. Remember, what was it? Fishnets. Remember Fishnets? Morris Day. That was finished. Morris Day. Oak Tree. Remember Oak Tree by Morris Day? But I'm getting off topic. So we got Jelly Bean Johnson, Jerome Benton, and Paul Peterson, otherwise known as St. Paul, in this band, along with a woman named Susanna, I believe it's Susanna Melvoin, Melvoin. I might be mispronouncing her last name. I'll just call her Melvoin. She's the twin sister of Wendy. Remember Wendy? She was the guitar player with Prince and the Revolution. Wendy and Lisa. And later on, Susanna Melvoin, she sang backup on the Parade album by Prince, which was released in 1986. The Family released an album in 1985. Prince is all over this thing. His fingerprints is all over the original version of Nothing Compares to You. That was a song that Prince gave to the Family. And it was, I believe it was St. Paul who sang lead on that, along with Susanna Melvoin. I think she sang on that. I'm pretty sure it was both of them. But it wasn't released as a single. It was just another album cut. That's it. And it would have stayed an album cut until, oh God, let's go to this. Let's go to this Wikipedia page. I can't believe this. Let me go back. Bear with me. Let me go back on this. Sinead O'Connor, version of Nothing Compares to You. Oh, look at this. Number one in Austria. Number one in Australia. Number one, according to one chart, in Belgium. Number one in Canada. Number one in Finland. Number one in Germany, according to one of their charts. Number one in Ireland. Number one in Netherlands. And the Netherlands, number one in New Zealand, number one in Poland, number one in England, and number one here in the States. So that's just the tip of the iceberg. Prince must have got a hell of a royalty check off of that song. He must have. Anything else I need to mention about this record? Family, 1985. That was their only album, by the way. And I don't know if did I mention that it had 2 instrumentals and 3 ballads on the album. I might have already mentioned that. I don't want to repeat myself. So what started out as an obscure album cut, a very obscure album cut, a nothing burger, becomes a number one hit, a staggering number one hit for somebody else, and it's a standard. May Prince rest in peace. Well, that's it for my fancy playlist. We started at number 50 with Up All Night by Slaughter, up to that was at number 50, number 1 with Sinead O'Connor. I must say this, most of the songs on this fancy playlist have stood the test of time. Almost 30 years later. The next fancy playlist, I'm going to do something different. I'm going to go to my Buzzbox channel, which features new music, particularly emphasis on new groups that no one has ever heard before. But I will be counting down a fancy playlist I have not even composed yet. Starting next week, I think it'll be the fancy playlist of June the 3rd, 2018, I will be counting down on my Buzzbox. And then after I get done with that countdown, I'll migrate to my First Millennium YouTube channel and count down a playlist from probably like 2006. And then it'll be back to the 80s and 90s. And then, well, it goes round in circles like the Billy Preston song. All right, well, that's it. That wraps up the countdown of this fancy playlist of April 23rd, 1990. I guess I'll refile this back in the shoebox and call it a day. Take care. And I'll see you on the next countdown.